And let's see what the energy is between the person you're thinking about, if you're watching this video now, okay? Let's have a look at what they're projecting outwards, but what they're feeling really deep down. 2 cards. Okay, I think they're starting to tell people they'd like to meet up with you. What are they feeling deep down? You're their wish fulfilled. Yeah, absolutely. If you're in no contact, they are thinking about contacting you. Okay? They are thinking about contacting you. But with these 2 cards together, they feel that you tick all the boxes. Okay? Bottom of the deck. Someone's blocked somebody here, just very quickly. Yeah, it happened suddenly. This relationship broke down suddenly. Okay, it wasn't one that took about 2 years to break down. Either you came to a sudden realisation about what was going on. I'll have a look at the past in a minute. Or then you'll know it's your reading or not. Or it just ended. It kind of just fell apart. Okay. And I think you thought at the time that, you know, this relationship was just built on quicksand. Okay. But they're thinking about sending a message, and what they want to tell you is that you make them very happy. The only thing I will say before I start shuffling, sometimes this card can mean that they can be a little bit selfish, meaning that they're very happy and very easy to be with when they're getting their needs met. So just bear that in mind. Anyway, let us see. We'll give this another shuffle. Just while I'm shuffling now, welcome back. I hope you're all well. Hope you're all okay. Thanks so much for watching. All your comments, your likes, absolutely everything. It's really kind of you. If you'd like a reading, just click on the title of the video. Okay, if you're on a mobile, that'll take you through to the description box, and the links to the website are in there. And check out the free relationship report if you want to as well. Okay. I just feel this 9 of Cups has got something to do with the past as well. What happened in the past, please, so we can clarify it for you, then you'll know. Okay, right. Really clear for me today. This card and what I'm hearing is there was interference in your relationship in some shape or form. It doesn't have to be a physical person, but it could have been you, but I feel it's more likely to be their energy, that in the past your person had not processed some disappointment from the past. Your person, it could have just been mentally or emotionally, was still holding on to something from the past that they should have dealt with, that they didn't deal with, which then had a knock-on effect into your relationship. Now, with this card, it could be their childhood, it could be a connection to where they grew up, or possibly a formative or a life-changing romantic relationship. But they were still at some level, and this does happen, by the way, I think we can all do it at times, holding on to memories of the past, which affected how they showed up for you, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Come on, Keeley. It affected how they showed up for you. Okay? Yeah, the unknown. In the past, couple of energies here, but I feel that when you were with your person, you know, if not at the end, but at some point in the relationship, they almost like showing you off. In fact, I don't think that they could believe their luck that they got you. Okay, I don't think that they could believe their luck. And to clarify it a bit more, this person, whenever they met you, was determined to get you. Okay, was absolutely determined to get you. They liked having you on their arm. That's what I just heard. They liked having you on their arm. So why are they coming back now? What's going on with them? What is going on with them? Okay, right. You know, this person does find it difficult to let go. Okay, because what's going on with them now is they're in a situation, whoever it's with, where one person has got more control than the other person. Okay? I do think there's a slight energy here of your person liking status, whatever that might be. And again, we can all do that, you know, but they do like the status thing. And I feel that what's going on now, because it's not going to be positive, because if it was positive, they wouldn't be coming up, you wouldn't be coming up as their wish fulfilled. What I feel is going on now is there is an imbalance of power in the situation they're in. Somebody possibly has more accesses to resources than somebody else. Somebody might have to be, I'm hearing, zipping it or biting their tongue to get hold of stuff or to keep their situation stable. That's what I feel is going on. Yeah, but your person, although they appeared settled, and you know, I always use this saying, it's just like a saying, you know, playing happy families, whatever they're doing, they're actually a little bit frustrated now, and I feel they're a little bit bored. Okay, but I'm going to say it again, this card and that card, I'm hearing the problem with this was all along, it's very clear today, that they were stuck in the past. They were stuck in the past. Possibly to do with, you know, their hometown or their family members, or a dysfunctional family pattern, you know, where the family are really, might be quite nice, but there's actually I'm hearing a lower level of manipulation, okay? A lower level of manipulation. You know, someone might not have stood up to one of their parents, but the same pattern's repeating. Within your person's environment, somebody has more control. There is an image projected out. Your person didn't do anything about it because they felt comfortable and they couldn't be bothered. They just were sitting, you know, this was easy. They were okay, roof overhead and all of that. But I'm feeling now that they're starting to get a little bit restless. Okay, they're starting to get a little bit restless. Yeah. The unknown though, 5 of Swords. There's a power imbalance. There's somebody they're connected into who wins at all costs. Even if they've got... It's easiest way, so I don't bore you to death, is what they do, this person, is they will have a smile on the face while they literally stab you in the back. Okay? 5 of Swords is horrible energy. There's a lot of agendas going on. Now, you'll know if this is your reading. And if you wanted to know if this is still going on, did it change, did it get better? You know, because sometimes we think, well, was it us? You know, did we do it? Then you really start questioning yourselves. No, it has not got any better and it's still going on. Okay? It's still going on. It's a karmic situation. And by that I mean they're just, I don't like to use the word lessons, but it could be generational. Things that just keep repeating themselves and nobody's letting go of it. Nobody's learning from it. It's like and also they close ranks. Like they just close ranks. But somebody likes to be the boss here. Somebody likes to be the boss, and your person is realising that. Okay, this other person or other people, they've got an agenda. Yeah, 9 of Swords. So you're living rent-free in your person's head with the 9 of Swords, but from a personal level, this is a card of anxiety, sleepless nights. They can't cope. Now, going back to that first card and looking at these, there's a possibility that your person wasn't always very good with money, or they won't have a lot of resources to bring back into the connection, okay? That they could even just like spending other people's money. To be perfectly frank with you today, to be perfectly brutal, as they say. But that's why it failed. Oh, what's that? Yeah, you know, I do feel they like the finer things in life. They've got an image that they project out, but what they want and what they've got are two totally different things. Because what they want is to be the King of Pentacles, but what they've got is the Page of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles and a load of swords. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama because somebody's controlling this situation because they have their own agenda. I feel that your person's left themselves open to this in some shape or form, that they didn't take their power. Okay, they didn't take their power back. They've relied, and again, it does happen. I always try and explain it like this because it does happen. Sometimes in families, it is dysfunctional. And, you know, it's always difficult to break a family pattern. Always difficult to break it. Because sometimes and depending on the personality, you don't always want to have the conversations. And seeing that other card before, it's almost like your person was just too comfortable. They got their feet under the table. Like I say, maybe they're being looked after. Maybe someone's paying for where they live or whatever. But whatever's going on here, it's not a good situation. It's not a good situation. That's why I feel they are feeling that you are their wish fulfilled, okay? But there's a lot of money. And, you know, it's always stuff like that in relationships. You know, money's always, not always, but one of the biggies of relationship problems. Especially if somebody's got more control than the other person. It's okay if someone has more access to the funds, if they are generous. But, you know, in life I've seen a lot of times where people will have access to more funds, but they'll use that as a form of control so somebody else doesn't grow, or they have to ask them for the money, and then they'll make little comments like, oh, well, I only gave you this last week, you know, and then that really sort of lowers a person's self-esteem. But your person didn't process it, and this was going on in your relationship, you know, this was going on in the past. Yeah, it was, you know, your person could have a tendency to procrastinate a little bit as well. They don't always make the right decisions, no, but they're feeling very restricted and trapped, mentally trapped. They rely on some support from somewhere, okay? Whoever it is, whatever it is disguised as, and I heard that very loudly just, whatever it is disguised as, in some shape or form, they are relying on it. Now they're going to have to realise the pattern they're in to break it. Which again, you have to, you know, you don't have to spend your whole life healing. You don't have to spend your whole life, you know, wishing you hadn't done this and done that, because there is only the present. But to start a different chain of events, you do, while sat in the present, have to admit there is actually a bit of a problem here and I need to sort it out. And I feel that's what they're going to have to do. Okay, I'll have a look and see if they're going to come back in. But on an energetic level, they want to speak to you. It's a page, pages and messengers, but the Page of Pentacles isn't the fastest car on the racetrack, and it's not the most emotional card. But what they're not telling you, is they do have a lot of emotion for you. But I don't feel any message will be particularly emotional, if that makes sense. But let's have a quick peek at the end. And I'm just going to get a what to do card for you as well. I think this is very frustrating for you. I think it was very frustrating. What the now they're going to come back, the Knight of Cups. Yeah, because I saw the Seven of Cups earlier. They do love you. Okay, they are going to come back in. You keep your feet on the ground, right? Because you've been through this before. You want a level playing field. Yeah, in the past they had left you hanging on. They'd left you twisting in the wind. You know, you possibly sacrificed things for them, and they just kind of. I feel they've got so much potential, but they didn't always use it. But I think they expected you to. Okay, I think that this person expected you to. Let me get a what to do card for you. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm going to read the image on this one. I said earlier, it's not the fastest energy. Take your time. Take your time, okay? You know, the guy on this card particularly, he's kind of tossing a coin, but it's going both ways. Just take your time and see what's right for you. Don't be led by somebody else's vision. Step into your own power, your own confidence, your own way of doing things. And sometimes people I don't know, you can end up doing something, right, or being somewhere where you think, how the hell did I get here? What happened? You know, where was I? Don't be led by somebody else's world views, their plan of how your life or this particular relationship should go. All right, you step into that yourself. This, what to do, it's telling me you need to just have a very, very clear vision. Don't be afraid to be confident. Get creative and really stand on business, and you be the leader. I'm hearing that, you be the leader. Okay, yeah, because the unknown is the Five of Swords. You know, if this was me, I'd just be knowing that I had to really have my self-concept very high and know my own self-worth, so that when this person came back in, that I wasn't going to have a load of this again, because we've already got it here in their environment. So this is still going on. You know, you don't want all that baggage from the past, all those people and the nasty words and, you know, everybody just stirring, okay? You don't want that. You don't want that. So you need to be very, very clear on your. You need to set your boundaries. Set your boundaries, okay? Because the Knight of Cups is great. Obviously it's a love card. They come in, they're very lovely. It's all pink and rosy and everything. But is it real? It's as real as long as it's being said, but there is still an underlying energy of the agendas going on, okay? And again, that's come out today because that energy is there. That energy is there. You know that they have met their match with you, though. You are as strong as this person. You are as strong as this person. I think what I'm trying to say is when they come back in, make sure the elephant in the room's addressed. Don't hold back on talking about what happened, if that's what you want to do. You know, sometimes in a relationship you could just let go of the past, and if you want it to change, really, you have to let go of the old stories. But sometimes we're human, we just want to have our say a little bit. So, depending on what you want, You know, if you want it to move forward, the old story has to go. You have to completely change the story, and that will be reflected back to you. But if you don't, because I feel in your energy, somebody here wants a conversation about something that was skirted around, okay, that wasn't fully discussed. And possibly that's because then you will feel, you know, you will get your full closure. And yes, in an ideal world, we should just give closure to ourselves, because we basically manifest everything into our lives at some level anyway. But that's not always easy to do. You know, sat here in the 3D, it's not always easy to do, but just set your boundaries. And I say this in all my videos, because I probably will do for as long as I do this. It's really important to set your boundaries. You can change any story. You can get somebody if you want to, because your beliefs, your assumptions, what you're thinking they're thinking about you and what you're thinking about them, and the whole story, which we all do rattling around in our heads, at some point will be made manifest, okay? At some point will be made manifest. But sometimes we don't want to put that energy in to change the story, because we just don't, which is also absolutely fine. But with this person, do set boundaries, and if you want them back, and as part of your changing the story that makes you feel comfortable, address the elephant in the room, which is going back to the past, I believe, today, and then you can change the story. You know, there's an old-fashioned saying, isn't there? You know, clear the air. Just clear the air. All right, so I'll leave that with you anyway. Look after yourselves, and just remember, you're on the pedestal. You're amazing. You're so worthwhile. Okay, you are the best. You are perfect. You're lovely. You're wonderful. All right, just keep telling yourself that. Just keep telling yourself that, and it will be reflected back to you. Okay, I love you all. Take care. Bye.